Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to talk about an article which I found on the Lemonade blog. It's written by Shai Wininger and it's called The Rise of the Autonomous Organization. So without further ado, let's dive into it. Here in the first paragraph he talks about Tower Records, which is a music company. They sold CDs when he was a kid and he always wanted to buy actually one single track or one, how do you call this? Yeah, soundtrack, but he was forced to buy the entire album. And he talks about Ross Solomon, which is the founder of this company, and how he built this 1 billion in annual revenue company, which has now hundreds of stores. And then the story goes on, right? In 1996, Bernhard Grill, he's a German guy, and he patented the MP3 technology. And so what happened after this is, of course, you had like companies like Apple and Spotify who really started to use this technology, and we all use probably MP3. And of course, Tower Records went bankrupt. And he writes here, what he and his team couldn't see coming was the arrival of a new game, one with a different set of rules for which they had no answer. That's exactly the point. So the case he makes here is this is classic disruption. The same as Nokia, the same with Tesla, the same with Amazon. So next, he talks about your first billion, and he dives into the differences of a startup and a classic corporation or large corporations. And what he sees is that startups have passion, they have ownership, creative thinking, urgency, speed of execution. And in large corporations, they are somewhat slower. And generally speaking, when an organization achieves a certain size and a certain amount of people that work there, it's just becoming corrupt and you have more politics and all this stuff. Here he says, or he writes, I don't want this to happen to us at Lemonade. We want to continue providing great product, caring about every pixel and every word, taking risks, building crazy smart tech, and constantly improving our customer experience. And when I read this paragraph, I was like, what the heck, this company is 5 years old. 5 years old. At this time, this company was maybe like 2 or 3 years old. This article was written, they don't write dates, but when you look at the chronicle of the blog posts, you see that they posted this article right before they posted an article that reviews 2017. So this article, probably he published this at the end of 2017 or in spring 2018. So when he wrote this article, the company was about 2 or 3 years old, which is crazy, right? Who builds a startup which is 2 years old and is already thinking about what impacts the size of the company in 10 years is going to be? Crazy guy. But there's a real challenge. He talks about how difficult it is to maintain passion in a large organization, and also how to make sure that in a large corporation, your people are going to find the new MP3 technology. So for insurance, what is their disruptive technology that's going to disrupt them again? In my opinion, Lemonade is already disrupting the insurance industry, but he's already thinking about the next 10 to 20 years, and he wants to make sure that their company is going to disrupt it again. Crazy. It's just, most people wouldn't even acknowledge that the insurance industry is ready for disruption. And if you would talk to people on Wall Street, they would probably say, yeah, the automotive industry is not about disruption. We all know that Tesla is here to disrupt them, but anyway. Okay, so next paragraph, he talks about that he wants to build a new kind of organization that incorporates the values of a startup, which is like working fast, passion and ownership and speed of execution. But he also wants to benefit from being a large corporation, which is you can scale stuff way better and you have higher earnings, higher revenues and all this stuff. So he says he wants to build a new type of organization. So this company is at this moment, this company is 2 to 3 years old when he wrote this article, and he writes about that he wants to create a new type of organization. You know, we always have these talks about we want to identify the next generational company. Yeah, you need to read their articles if you want to find the next generational company. Okay, he talks about the changes coming, driverless cars, robotic warehouses, self-driving trucks, and all this stuff, which is quite obvious, but you know, he's talking about it. He also mentions that autonomous technology has the power to unlock entirely new business models. And of course, if cars drive themselves and you build a robo-taxi network like Tesla probably is going to do in a couple of years, you don't need that many garages, you don't need that many parking places, you don't need gasoline stations, you don't need, like a lot of stuff you just don't need anymore. You are going to have probably companies like Hertz or yeah, I don't know, rental companies which are also going to build these robot taxi fleets, and they will probably take care of the maintenance. And then he talks about that there is one area which is largely ignored by AI, and of course it's the organization itself. Here he writes, if you spend the better part of your day in the office, try to think about all the repetitive tasks you do each day. Gather data, update your peers and manager, compose reports, fill out forms, coordinate events, track progress, order stuff, sign documents, and send out purchase orders. And that's exactly what a lot of people do in their office. They go there and they only do repetitive tasks, which you basically could automate. Today, most of these tasks can be automated by bots. And that's today, and today is 3-4 years ago when he wrote this article. Then the next paragraph, the rise of the autonomous organization. Here he talks again that he wants to build a different kind of company, one with less people and more code. And that is driven by ultra smart, carefully selected, small group of humans who together engineer a lean David rather than a brute Goliath, which is exactly at the end what you want. You want large companies to be very lean and to adapt very quickly to the environment, but unfortunately that's not the case. And he, like in this article, he makes the case that AI could change this. I've never heard someone speaking about this. You know, there is a famous guy that talks about automating cars. I hope you know who I'm talking about. And I love that. Don't misunderstand me. I love this vision. But this guy is talking about automating organizations. What the heck? Crazy. This is crazy. Okay, building an autonomous organization. The first place they are doing this is in the engineering workflow, and they call this Cooper. And Cooper helps to manage workflow between product engineering, automated testing, and Q&A. It assigns tasks to team members, prepares testing environments in the cloud, runs tens of thousands of automated tests, and deploys everything to the hands of our customers when ready. And then here, this seems a little bit cryptic to me. Maybe someone has an idea what this is about. Ready for Q&A, and then marketing website, work on punctuation, edits with Sylvie, Lemonade staging 10, ready for Q&A, Texas launch, ready for deploy, privacy policy, add the following text, and then Texas launch web, then on September 17th, ready for deploy, again, Texas rating engine, Texas launch. It's quite cryptic, but yeah, maybe someone has an idea what they are talking about. Okay, so next, in the coming month, our team will continue teaching Cooper to generate modular legal documents, compile data for regulatory compliance reports, answer knowledge-based questions, help find documents, onboard new employees, help set up IT equipment, keep an eye on critical KPIs, monitor financial transactions, run fraud analysis, and help us become better at customer acquisition. Again, he says they are going to do this in the next couple of months. And he wrote this article at the end of 2017 or early 2018. Now just think about this. That's crazy. Probably most of personnel cost in insurance industry is for regulatory purposes and for doing repetitive tasks. Call the customers and pay back their claims, and you probably could automate all this. And they already did that with Jim and Maya and Cooper. Of course, they are not driven to perfection, but they are probably doing quite well work. Here again, a screenshot. Hi, Cooper, I need our loss report for 2017. And then here, Cooper just sends you the report as a PDF. Next, again, a conversation. Some guy needs the Lemonade logo with 496 pixels in width. And then this guy just tells him, yeah, you just have to text Cooper, and then he does it and he receives the image directly. It's a Slack feed. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Humans versus machines. Yeah, he talks here about the automation index, which basically tracks how many employees they have and how many customers they actually have. So what you want is to have a lot of customers and not so many employees, so that most things are automated. And then he plots here this graph, and you see pink is the number of employees, and this dotted line is the policy count. And you see here the fun zone, which is fun for investors because, yeah, you know what that means. I don't have to explain that for sure. Okay, a final word of caution, that's boring. You can read that. So to sum up, you know, we are in this crazy time where everything is changing, and it's really changing super fast. And I talked about these Kondratiev cycles, which are just accelerating, and you have like these S-curves feeding S-curves, and change is coming at a rapid pace, and the pace is increasing at a rapid speed, like it's accelerating at like just crazy. And we have these crazy guys like Elon Musk talking about automating cars and building robot taxis, which I love. I really love this. And in this article, this guy, Shai Wininger, co-founder and co-CEO of Lemonade, he makes the case that we need to automate organizations. The amount of money they are going to save is just going to be crazy. And if they really do a good job, there could be a possibility that they go out and they sell this product to other insurance companies or to other companies that work in different industries. And I'm really curious to hear more about their progress they do with their AI, as well as Jim and Maya and of course Cooper. So to sum up, we're looking for a generational company, we're looking for a disruptor. And if I look at Lemonade, you know, this company is about 5 years old, and they are just getting started at disrupting the entire insurance industry, which is a gigantic industry. I just showed you in the last video. And they have, like, I think at the end of 2021, they should have about 400 million in force premium, which isn't that much. It's a tiny company, and they are just getting started. And this guy already 3 years ago is thinking about how to automate stuff and how to be more efficient when they are a huge company. And also, speaking about automating a company, I never heard about this. And not only in insurance industry, in all the industries, I've never heard about automating an organization, which is just crazy. And we need people that ask these questions. Analysts are not going to do that. On the quarterly call, they are talking about, I don't know, their marketing spending and some US GAAP metrics, which is fine, you know, it's not wrong or so, but it's kind of boring. I want to ask questions about how Jim is doing and how Cooper is doing and how their progress is going on and how they think about their loss ratio and where the range is. And I want to understand how they consider to develop Cooper in the future and what capabilities Cooper already has and this stuff. And yeah, someone has to ask these questions, but unfortunately no one is doing. So my goal is to have about 1,000 subscribers at the end of the year, and hopefully to invite Daniel Schreiber and ask him some questions about Lemonade. And then we can see if Lemonade is really a good investment or if it's not. So thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, consider to like and subscribe. I really want to keep this a high quality channel and high quality videos where we can exchange ideas and talk about the future, talk about companies and interesting stuff. So anyway, thank you very much for watching and have a nice day.